Hey everyone, Will here. Welcome back to Vibe Coding, an FPS game. And I released the first part about a week ago and it did quite well. So I am making the second part, and essentially what this series is me, as I said, just vibe coding. I have Claude Code, I have the $20 subscription, and I'm seeing how far I can push it to the limit by coding an FPS game. I'm just going to be prompting it and accepting all answers. I'll only intervene if absolutely necessary. And yeah, let me share my screen and show you what we already have. So the first episode, if you haven't seen it, got us to this point, which I am quite impressed with, really. We have a skybox, some nice lighting, some shadows, some procedurally generated... Well, they're meant to be buildings, but they look terrible. You can move around, you can look around, and yeah. I thought today we would go back into the code and ask Claude to start putting in... I like a gun, I think. It'll start to make it feel like an FPS game if I have a gun. So that is what the focus of today's video. It's going to be a short one. I only have about half an hour, 40 minutes to film something. And yeah, let's do it. So as I mentioned, I am completely letting Claude make all the decisions here, from the tech stack to how it's implemented. If I need to go and find something, I ask Claude what I need to find, and then I'll go find it and give it to Claude. And so far, so good. We are using Three.js. I had a few people say, why don't you use Unity? And the answer is because Claude decided not to use Unity. And to be fair, I'm just kind of really curious to see how far we can get into this game development before it starts to break down. Because so far, it's been quite good. We have a client-side setup here, which is what you see here, the front end. And we even have a server setup, which I've been yet to test. But it runs a server on the back end where other people can join. And for those who didn't watch the first episode, this first-person shooter is going to be called The Resistance. It's going to be set in alternative history Britain post-war, where the Germans won. It just came to me when I was coming up with some names. I think it'll be quite fun. It's going to be a multiplayer game as well as single player, so you can come in and have some fun as well without other people being in the server. But if you want to join and play together, you can. Beyond that, I haven't really decided much of the story. I think hopefully it'll just come to me as I go. And as I said, at the moment, this is what it looks like. A skybox, some buildings, some shadows, some lights. It looks nice, but I think for it to feel like an FPS, you need a gun to begin with. So that is what I am going to do. I'm going to come over to Claude here, and I'm going to give it the first prompt of the day. Auto accept is on because we're just auto accepting everything. I don't care what it wants to do. It's part of the fun of vibe coding, is see how far we can get before it all breaks down, which I'm sure it will. A little bit about me, again, if you haven't seen any of my other videos or any of the first part, is by day I run some tech businesses. I do coding regularly. I don't often vibe code. I use AI assistants and I use it quite heavily. However, I have a long history in programming, and I tend to spend most of my time reviewing outputs now and looking at what AI is producing or other people are producing. And yeah, that's where my skill set lies. I very rarely have auto accept on without looking at anything at all. So yeah, that's where I'm coming from. This is an experiment for me to see how far AI can actually get without any of that further input and just auto accepting anything. So yeah, let's go back to it. For a first-person shooter gun model, you'll need to find a 3D model files in one of the following formats. GLTF, I'm familiar, FBX, familiar, or an OBJ. The model should be low poly, under 10K triangles for good performance, properly scaled, UV mapped with textures. Oh dear. Okay, let's go away and have a little look then. I mean, this looks quite good. So I'm going to find a British gun to begin with, because it's set in post-war Britain, but obviously we're going to have to consider the fact that we need other guns from other countries and other militaries. Oh, this looks nice. So again, I don't know a lot about World War II. I won't pretend to know. I had to look this up, but the Lee Enfield rifle was a common weapon for the British Army in World War II. So I'm going to try and find that to begin with. Again, this is just to get it in. This is not part of the game, I don't think, yet, or I just want to have it in just so I can see an FPS taking shape. So yeah, this looks quite good. I'm going to download this. Looks quite good. This is what's quite fun, is I don't actually know what I'm looking at, really. Here's the model. It's got accompanying files and things like that. I guess I'm just going to grab the zip. Let's come back to Claude whilst that downloads and go, great. I am going to try and guide it to create long-term implementations. again, I think, again, with my experience of Claude, it can quite quickly be quite compartmentalized with what it's implementing without considering the bigger picture, because you're going between context lengths all the time, you're clearing and you're going new sets of context. It doesn't often have a great insight into the long-term plan unless you provide that in some sort of agent config file or in a plan that it always reads. So I'm going to always try and guide it to think long-term. So this is what I've just asked it, is where should I store this model? And here we go. Looking at your Three.js project structure, I'd recommend creating an assets models folder. Can you create that folder? Again, I'm not doing anything. I'm going to let Claude do it. Again, I'm just going to query this. It's created an assets folder up top here with things in here. Now, whether we should move this skybox from last episode into this folder or move assets into here or whatever, I don't know. Okay, yep, it's decided. Assets, models, weapons. Okay, lovely. Right, it's osmosing. It's going to add the gun. Again, there's a lot of waiting with vibe coding as you wait for the guy to implement stuff. Good old Claudia. So changes will happen live, which is quite nice. It's got hot reloading. So while Claudia is coding, we should see stuff come through, hopefully. But I do like keeping track of it. It says, perfect, now I understand your code base. You have a clean Three.js TypeScript setup with FPS camera controls. Let me create a flexible weapons system architecture. Good stuff. Cool, we have a new source file, weapons manager, some code in it. I'm not even going to read it really, I don't care. In it goes. Seems to be smashing through this at the moment, getting the weapon in. Currently the game is broken though. Oh no, we're back. Can't find the skybox now, of course, because we moved it. So we might have to ask Claudia to fix that. No, it's found it again. Look at that. It's fixing its own problems. I'm so stoked to see the output. So it seems to want to run dev again, so we will humor it as well. And we will run dev just in case. And we will refresh this page. No gun so far. Just tell it that. It runs properly, but no gun. Seems to be adding a lot of debugging here. Now refresh the browser and check the console. You should see red wireframe outline of the weapon, even if text doesn't show. Console.logs. Okay, let's refresh it as you wanted. There's nothing visible yet. It is confused. I see the issue. The weapon positioning is showing as 0000 instead of the configured position. The weapon's transform isn't being applied to the weapon group, only to the FPS object inside. FBX object inside. Let me fix that. Now refresh, and there should be a gun. There is not. So it seems to be trying to validate why we can't render the gun at the moment by putting this cube here. I obviously see this, but it's asking me if I see a green cube, and there is no green cube. Okay, are we okay? Oh my god, I might just exit out of this. I saw the gun temporarily. I see the gun! There it is! First attempt here. We have a green cube, we have a red cube, and we have a gun that's back to front. Excellent. Okay, let's go back to Claude and see what's happening here. So it's not done everything that it says it's done. I hope it doesn't bollocks anything. Now we've got it working. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I mean, it looks incredibly bizarre. It's the right way around now, at least, but it's really up high. We've got this cool shadow casting as well, which looks hilarious. Look at this. Good stuff. Looks so bizarre, doesn't it? I like the shadow most. That's my favorite thing. I'm going on a whim here and asking it two big things here. I'm asking if we can see a bit more of the gun because it is a little bit weird looking. And I'm also asking if it can sway whilst we walk. That'll make me happy. I think I'm asking a big thing of this, but we'll see. Oh no, the position's horrible. Oh, the last position was so much better. Now let me add weapon sway. I need to modify the weapon update method and track movement in the main game. Sure, I believe you. Doesn't sway yet. Oh, it's really botched the weapon position. I'm proper sad about that. That looks so good. Right, this is sick. I mean, the gun's coming out of my head, but it looks good. Love it. Okay. Gonna need a player character now, I think. Well, obviously gonna need a player character because there is none at the moment, and obviously it's multiplayer, and all you're gonna see when you log in, I guess, is currently still too high. The sway is great though. Absolutely loving this. I suppose it looks a bit funny as well because you haven't got a hand on it. Looking good. It reacts to the light beautifully. I love that. The shadow makes me giggle. I'm just going to ask it to make it one tiny bit lower again. It was almost perfect. It's almost perfect. It needs a hand on it, I admit. Okay, but this is so good. Okay, really good. Let's take stock here and go. By the way, I don't even commit the code. It's fully open source, by the way. Link in the description to see the repo that's being built out. It's fully open source. I'll be leaving it fully open source. And additionally, I'm not going to be doing the commits. So if you saw the first episode, you'll see that I do this. Cool. Git commit message, add first-person weapon system with Lee Enfield rifle, implement modular weapon system. Yep, cool. I'm just going to... Again, it credits itself. Normally, I hate it when it adds itself as a co-author. But because it is doing all the work, I will let it. Let me just see, make sure we've got no outstanding changes. Everything's in here. Yeah, no changes. Great. Yeah, push, happy days. How much have we used in context to get here? 3.5 million tokens to get the gun in. That's really good. Not too bad. Is Git pushing? And I am just about out of time, unfortunately, today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back over to my studio and I'm going to press stop sharing here and I'm going to turn to face the camera. I'm about out of time for filming today, but we got one piece of the puzzle in and I might jump back on later and record a little bit more as a part 3. But thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy things like this, don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and follow along for the journey. I post about tech, I post about AI. I am a tech entrepreneur generally, and I like to share what I'm doing day to day. So follow along for that and see you in the next video.